So this is like I guess a cooking class going on. I don't know if I can zoom in. In the cooking class, there's two dudes in there. And it's all ladies. Now, one of the ladies is going to faint, and all the ladies are going to come to her defense. All the ladies are going to rush to her aid. So this is interesting. Okay, see the video? She faints. All the ladies rush to her aid. The dudes are like, "What is happening?" They don't know what to do, so they just keep doing what they were doing, preparing their meal or whatever. So let's watch the video again. Right? She faints. All the ladies rush to her side. So she already has 4 ladies rushing to her side. The dudes just kind of just stare and just watch, and they're just like, okay, let me just go back to doing what I was doing. Right? So I see the video. The guy looks confused. He doesn't really know what to do. And it is what it is. So I was about to move on until I saw the caption. So the caption says, "Our protectors," they said. And then when I saw the caption, I'm like, don't tell me they're blaming this on men. I was just like, are you kidding me? And then I see this long ass caption over here to the right. So right here, let's read the caption from this. Clearly, this is a feminist or a female slanted page. It's called Pink and Spicy, but whatever. So right here, it says, "You're in the middle of a couple's cooking class, apron on, halfway through chopping onions or stirring a sauce. The vibe is light, everyone's laughing, maybe a little wine is involved, but then things start to blur. The room spins, your legs feel weird, and boom, you faint right there next to the cutting board. Everything stops, someone yells, someone gasps, and immediately the girls in the class spring into action like it's a rom-com emergency scene. One fans your face with a dish towel, another grabs water, someone else cushions your head with an oven mitt. Your partner is standing there stunned, but the group has got you. After a few minutes, you come to surrounded by concerned faces and the smell of garlic still sizzling on the stove. You're embarrassed, but also kind of grateful because let's be real, those girls saved the day like absolute heroes." So when you look at the comments, you're going to see a lot of women basically blaming the men. Now, I know the comment feed looks different now, but I'm talking about on my comment feed, it showed all the top comments being women basically blaming men for her fainting and for them not checking up on her to see if she's okay. So right here, you see the comment, "Man-child, but even a child is competent enough to ask if she's okay." And then you see another comment that said, "Men versus basic empathy." Another one, "Why do we need boys again?" And then, there were women. So you see this comment right here, it says, "They can be lonelier." So this is women basically, I guess, saying there's this thing where women have been, I guess, making fun of the quote unquote male loneliness epidemic, which is a myth. Because even if there was a male loneliness epidemic, they don't care. So another comment that says, "And they want women to have kids with them," right? But I'm happy that there have been men that have seen this video and they're starting to comment and they're just like, "What do you want them to do?" Like right here. So this is because this is what I saw when I saw the video this morning. I didn't see this comment, so it says 14 hours ago. So I guess this video is really going viral. So the guy said this. He says, "A woman fainted. 4 other women made sure she was okay, but somehow it's men to blame again." I'm telling you, when it was this morning, when I saw the video this morning, it was all types of women blaming men for this. I'm like, how are we still getting the blame? Men have zero empathy, basic empathy. I'm like, she has 4 girls already taking care of her already. What are they supposed to do? And besides, this is just not the era. This is not the time for men to just be like, "My lady, are you okay?" Those days are over. There's too many men that have gotten SA cases for performing CPR on bitches. Men getting SA cases for trying to defend women from other like. There's been way too many cases of men, specifically Caucasian men, trying to step in and perform their quote unquote masculine duty, right? They've been punished for that. Then on top of that, you got the hoes on social media talking about they rather a bear. than a man. And then when something happens to a woman, you're still looking for a man to help you, still looking for a man to protect. I'm like, bruh, this is not the time. Thornstar the Fifth says she had 4 on her. She didn't need 5 or 6. That's the thing. But what it really is, this is what it really is. And bear with me for a sec, right? I can't really zoom in on the guys, but these guys right here, these are the type of dudes that women would find, I'm not going to say attractive, but these are the type of dudes that, particularly Caucasian women, these are the dudes that they're going for in terms of long-term partnership, long-term relationship, or solid boyfriend material. So there is a certain type of emotion that a woman will elicit if she's calling out for help or she wants protection. She wants a certain type of man to protect her, not any type of man, right? So if an ugly dude were to come to her aid, she would not be happy. she doesn't want to open her eyes and see a dude looking like some weird looking dude, you know, hey, my lady, are you okay? She wants guys like this, right? Those two dudes. You see the Chad Light at the end of this, and you know, a presentable Caucasian dude that the average white girl would give a chance per se, right? Those are the dudes that they want to quote unquote put their body on the line, protect, see if they're okay, etc., etc. She don't want like no goofy looking motherfucker with some glasses with a that's not what they want. They want guys like this to step in. But when guys like that step back and they're just like, I don't know what to do, women feel a type of way about that. But they don't understand it's too late. It's too late. You say you want equality, you say you want equal pay, you say there's no difference, but then when men finally step back and let you do the protecting, let you do the so-called provisioning, you're still asking for us. We might as well be your gods at this point. That's why I say, like, we might as well be your gods. We might as well be your gods because you're still blaming us for not doing anything. They literally did nothing and they still got the blame. We might as, like I said, we might as well be your gods. You say you're financially, you got black bitches talking about they financially independent and they still require child support. You got women that are supposedly making 6 figures, still bragging about putting their baby father on child support. I mean, in claiming independence. We're your gods. We're your gods. Woman raises a child, he ends up being a criminal. Even though she's had primary child care for most of the kid's life, the kid ends up not being nothing in life, and men still get the blame. The absent father gets the blame, even though she's had primary care. If the dad had primary care and the kid ends up being nothing, the dad's not allowed to blame the absent mother. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. So at this point, we're your gods. Oh, that's true. Long live the king said, so glad they weren't black. That issue would be on CNN right now. Man, if those were some black dudes, black women aren't being protected. Like if it was like some black women surrounded, it was some black dudes, and black dudes had watched some women go down if she fainted. Black women aren't protected. A white man would never. And all this nonsense, right? This is what you would have been hearing. That's a good point, Long Live the King. That's a great point. We would be on CNN. It'd be all types of think pieces like there is here. But I'll say this, especially white women. They're very clueless. Like they really think they could just talk the same ish, and think there's no consequences for talking crazy on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, etc. I don't need men. I don't need this, and blah blah blah. Then something like this happens, and you're still expecting men to just take the abuse and still protect you. Like what? Hey man, I was baffled when I saw the comment section. I was just baffled. Shout out to Jarvik, but I don't know. Like because I saw this video early in the morning, and the comment section was just littered with women saying crazy stuff about dudes. Right? Yeah, I remember seeing this comment because most of the likes, most of the comments that got the likes were comments like this. Right? It says men have the emotional intelligence of an 8-year-old child. And the irony is, for her to make this comment shows that she has damn near zero emotional intelligence. Because there's even black women that could see this and be like, well, we kind of brought this upon ourselves. Like, you can't expect men to protect you guys like in the past. Like those days are done. Oh, you always hear liberals. Oh, you guys always bring up Daniel Penny. You always bring up Daniel Penny. I'm like, do you understand the significance of that? Where you have a state where if you do the right thing, they're going to punish you. And then you're just shocked when dudes look at that and they're just like, nah, I can't risk it. Especially when it's something that's like, it's none of their business. They don't even know the broad. It's none of their business. Now, what's interesting is when I first saw this video, you know what I said? And you guys might have saw the comment that I made off it. This is what I said. Right here. Let's let it return to the beginning. So when I saw this girl faint out of nowhere, my first thought was this: she's pregnant. When I just saw her just fall out like that over nothing, just out of nowhere, I'm like, she's pregnant. That's what I thought. So say if I'm right, that means that means there's definitely nothing that these guys could do. There's just I'm like, and first of all, I don't know what they expect these people to do, especially when she already had 4 women coming to her aid. But when I saw her just fall out like that, I'm like, I think she's pregnant. But that's just, since I have zero emotional intelligence, I guess since men have zero emotional intelligence, according to broads, like when women start saying that men have no emotional intelligence, or when women start bragging about their emotional intelligence, right away you're dealing with a very low IQ woman. Or how about this here? The irony of women bragging about emotional intelligence is that's a sign of a woman with low emotional intelligence, is if she brags about her having great emotional intelligence, or men having low emotional intelligence. That's a telltale sign that she has very low emotional intelligence. Because a woman with, even though, like, let's take the definition of emotional intelligence like it's a real thing. We'll take it at face value. Say emotional intelligence is a real thing, right? By the definition of emotional intelligence, men have far superior emotional intelligence than women. I'm talking about far more. So much so, when a woman runs across a man that is so-called sassy, or he's doing things that's a little bit feminine, they regard that as a negative. They'll say, oh, he's so gossipy, he's this and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, so in other words, he's acting like a woman? That's what makes him a negative person? And as soon as I ask that, then the conversation basically stops. Let me show you guys something real quick. Emotional intelligence, EI, is the ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions in positive ways to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, overcome challenges, and diffuse conflict, according to Mental Health America. Perceiving emotions, recognizing your own emotions and the emotions of others, often through nonverbal cues like body language and facial expressions. Most bitches can't even shut up. So that's already strike number 1. Okay, next one. Understanding emotions, comprehending the causes and consequences of emotions, including their impact on thinking and behavior. The way that women talk about men, or they speak to men, and they don't understand that there's consequences to those actions. So much so that men retreating from women or men leaving women alone, like say in the workplace, they don't even they look at that as a punishment. Just you drawing your attention away from women, they look at that as a consequence. They look at that as a negative. That's how lacking, like that's how they're just so used to not facing the consequences of their actions that men leaving women alone is seen as a punishment to them, right? So that's already strike two. Now let's go to number 3, managing emotions, regulating your own emotions and responding to the emotions of others in appropriate and constructive ways. Anytime a bitch do something crazy, they blame it on postpartum depression. They blame it on being pregnant. If they're on their, or they blame it on being on their period, or something happens, they end up hooking up with a guy that they weren't supposed to. Then they say they were ovulating. That's so they always got an excuse to why they freak out, why they get mad all of a sudden, why they do this, why they do that. So that's already strike 3. Now strike 4, using emotions, harnessing emotions to facilitate thinking, decision making, and problem solving. Harnessing emotions to facilitate thinking and decision making and problem solving. What does Shannon Sharpe like to say? When emotions are high, logic is low. Now, how many women do you know can understand the temperature of their emotions and harness that and use it for something positive? Because if a woman is just freaking out, there's really nothing you can do about it. She's just going to continue to freak out until someone hits the reset button on her, meaning, but anyways. So right here, just that detailed breakdown of so-called emotional intelligence is very few women that actually have that. If we're going by the paper definition of emotional intelligence, aka EI. This is so stoicism. But like I said, Thorn Star the Fifth, they look at if a man is stoic, they think something's wrong with you. There's women that are still mad at me. There's women that's still mad at me for just like, women will be mad at you for not talking to them. I'm talking about we'll make think pieces, we'll spread rumors. I'm talking about you stick to yourself and they will think you have a mental issue. And there'll probably be one woman that will stick up for you, which has usually been my case. But bruh, like if a dude sees like a dude that doesn't really like to talk, they'll just surmise, oh, we'll just leave him alone and then we'll just let him. Right? Women, no. They consider it a punishment. They like a dude might have his assumptions about the dude because the dude doesn't like to talk, but they won't look at it as he's punishing us by not talking to us. Women look at that like it's a punishment. Shout out to Long Live the King with a $5 super chat right here. We got money, nigga. We got money, nigga. We got money, nigga. I wish I can highlight this comment right here in terms of like really pin it in terms of one of the best comments of all time. Long Live the King's here with a $5 super chat. He says, you can look at any of the balloon pop shows and tell which sex has the most emotional intelligence. I mean, that that really should rest my case, or any case for that matter. Just all you got to do is watch the Pop the Balloon show and you can tell who has the most emotional intelligence. The stuff that women will say to these dudes. And you're just like, you do know if a dude were to say that same thing to a dude, he'd probably get shot. But they'll just, that's why I also say this. Let me also say this, and I've said this before on this channel. People will say, oh, women are more socially adept than men. I don't believe that. I think that's a lie. I think that's just something that we say, oh, women are more, they're better social creatures than men. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. And here's why. Women have they just have more freedom to make mistakes social wise, right? So for example, a woman, she understands social cues, not because it's just like innate. It's because men will tolerate women longer. So if a woman is around a man and she's at a party and she's talking reckless, she won't get kicked out. She has to be like, if a woman gets kicked out of a party or of a social setting, it's because she's been beyond belligerent. I'm talking about beyond belligerent. So women have the freedom to see how far they can go with most men. So they know what makes men tick, what makes men happy, what makes men laugh, they know what to say, they know what to do, they know how to placate to a man's ego. They have the freedom to see how far they can go. And because of that, it just comes across as, oh, they always know what to do. Or if you come across an older woman, they tend to know how to say the things that make themselves look good to the public eye, or they know how to say things that makes themselves look good to other men, right? But they've had the freedom to see how far they can go. So it's never been about women are more socially adept. It's just women can do things to men that most men would even dare do to women, let alone other men. I'm talking about the stuff that I've seen women do in terms of playing pranks, playing jokes, the cringeworthy dances they'll do, like just the stuff that they'll do is really, a lot of the stuff that women do is actually cringeworthy, but it's a woman. So because men just naturally want to be a heterosexual male, they just that want to have sex with women, they just naturally want to be around a woman. Even if he's not getting sex from the bra, he just still wants to be around them. So with that, women realize, because men will be around women no matter how they act, they have the freedom to see how far they'll go and which buttons not to press. The reason why you'll see, like, the few women that you'll see that they'll make channels on YouTube, on Facebook, and it's like, look, don't ever say this to a man. Like the ones that are talking sense, the reason why they say that, and they can say that for a fact, is because they've done that. I'm talking about bar for bar done it. They'll like, you'll see like the women with sense. They'll make a video and they'll be like, look, don't ever joke about divorce with a man, because he's not going to forget that. Or joke, don't talk about men in your past with your man, because they've done it. And it was one of the few things that they could not get away with. JC says that freedom women have explains why they think they won't get arrested or sued and ignore the law. Exactly. That's the perfect point. If you guys watch AJ's channel, you see how the women act. That, like, just see. I'm talking about drunk or not drunk. I've seen, like, we'll take the perfect example is the Fresh and Fit show. I remember seeing a clip where the dude, it was a dude that was drunk on there. He was drunk. And Myron told the dude, get out. He got out right away, just like this. Now, compared to when Myron has had to kick out other girls because they've just done too much, and then they've always needed security to kick the bitches out. You think they need the security to kick the men out? No, because we already know what could possible. What did Bernie Mac say? What could possible happen, right? We know what could possibly go wrong if a man tells you get out. If we go to a club, security guard tells you get out, you better get out, or he's going to throw you out, like Uncle Phil be doing it to Jazz on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And you see, like, the few dudes that don't listen to the security guards, you see what happened to them. They get thrown out like a rag doll, and people just be laughing at them. So dudes know there's consequences. Bitches will get shocked. Bitches will get shocked when you'll see a dude stand on his square and be like, look, I told you to get out. You got to leave.